Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League, and we're here for another episode of the United Show. I'm joined by Ciaran, RJ, and Kenny. How are we all doing, guys? Well, what a stupid question, but I thought I'd ask anyway.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I mean, international's been kind of good for me, to be fair, so I'm kind of dreaded that we're going to go back to United and all that.
I was just about to say, I bet you're wishing that you could go back to international duty now.
Yeah.
Also, how about you?
I want the real CR7 back. Callum Robinson, come on, boy, come on.
Yeah, I agree. CR7 is finished, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Just give everyone the rundown of what we're going to talk about today. We have got lots to talk about. As you can imagine, Manchester United always going to have news around them, especially whilst they run like this. So we're going to talk about the front three that should be used against Watford. We're going to talk about the goalkeeper situation. We're going to talk about the right back situation. We're going to talk about the Jesse Lingard situation, which is no longer a situation. He's been very clear in what he means. We're also going to look at the centre defensive midfield situation. There's a link here. There's lots of situations. And we're also going to deal with the Ole situation. Well, when I say situation, I mean comments against Watford. He's said some really peculiar things, but this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so I'm not overly surprised. But let's start with something a little bit easier. There has been some comments, and I actually think they make a lot of sense. A few people are asking if Rashford, Mason Greenwood, and Jadon Sancho should start together as a three against Watford. Now, I'm going to say something completely mad. You should be able to not play Ronaldo against Watford and get 3 points. I know, it's absolutely unfathomable that you shouldn't have to start Ronaldo against Watford, especially when you've got quite a crucial Champions League game coming up at midweek that you might just want to save Ronaldo for and go, actually, we would rather not have to play him against Watford. A bit like, Jurgen Klopp does sometimes. Rotation is key. Lots of games. And guess what? We're about to approach December, which is December's a bitch. Especially if you're in shit form, like United. You've also got Chelsea and Arsenal coming up as well. So, is Ronaldo really needed for Watford? Ciaran, I'll start with you. Would you like to see Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho play together against Watford? I mean, go for it.
It's an interesting idea. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think, obviously what it offers you is a lot of pace in behind. And obviously looking at Watford's defence, they definitely don't have that pace in their back line. So obviously that would give us a big advantage. And when Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho, we haven't seen as much of Sancho, but we've seen when Rashford and Greenwood play together and they're on form, they are difficult to stop, there's no doubt about it. Also, probably if you look across that front three as well, you could argue that those three players can pretty well all play all three positions across that front three, apart from maybe Sancho. He's not really a striker, but he can play on the left or the right. So in the game, it would be a bit more, of a versatile formation. You'd have the three players being able to swap around. In terms of whether I think I'd want to see it, I think it'd be an interesting experiment. I feel like, the way we've been playing recently, anything's better than what we've been putting out before. So I don't mind any changes, to be honest, because anything's better than what we've been putting out. But at the same time, I don't think realistically Ole's going to do it. I think, he will, play Ronaldo, and obviously he has scored some big goals for us this season. Obviously in the Premier League, he's obviously done okay. I don't think he's done as well in the league as he does maybe in the Champions League, or maybe had the same impact in the Champions League as he had in the league. But obviously with Ronaldo, he offers something different. He's more of a kind of target man these days, really, poacher, if you will. And if we get the right players around him, I think we'll be able to create chances for him. But the problem is that I just feel like, with Ronaldo in the team, sometimes it does slow our game down a little bit, which can be to our detriment and better for the opposition, because if we're not playing our fast attacking football, then opposition find it very easy to sit deep and just kind of frustrate Ronaldo in that way. So I guess I wouldn't mind seeing it. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing it. I think it would be a good experiment, but I don't think Ollie's gonna change much. To be honest with you, I think he is gonna go with his favourites, and he's gonna just do anything to get the result at this point because he's under a lot of pressure.
I mean, it's Watford. Like, come on.
I know, but I just,
you're right.
Ollie's very safe.
I've just picked 3 really average attackers that really would struggle against Watford. I mean, Mason Greenwood has quite a good history actually against Watford. I'm pretty sure he scored a brace against them, or it might be one of his first ever goals he scored against Watford. So Greenwood actually quite enjoys playing Watford. I'm sure Rashford probably doesn't mind playing against Watford either, and I'm sure Sancho would probably do something, and Sancho could really do with getting a goal or an assist at some point soon. So it could be a benefit to let him play against Watford with these two and, you know, try and get a goal and assist. But RJ, you are obviously going to disagree because, you know, I'm going to be rude now. I'm just going to call you a clown, right? Because I just think that's you're showing signs of being a clown. Just because I don't mean to be rude, but if you're disagreeing with this against Watford, then I really have we're gonna fight, I think. But what's your viewpoint on this?
I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it takes one to know one, isn't that right now? But like I said,
I'm not a clown. I'm an absolute raging cunt.
Well, like I said, it takes one to know one, isn't that right? Anyway, I mean, look, to be fair, it's going to be a risky game, to be fair, for Ollie, because I can definitely see us, like I said, I don't think we should be focusing on our attack. I think we should be focusing on our defence. Because if you really think about it, you look at the players that Watford
your defence is fucked.
Emile Lassar will turn Luke Shaw into Burger King. I'm sorry, this man is going to end his career. We are never going to see Luke Shaw ever again at the peak. We're going to see Jose Mourinho literally going to be back at the Old Trafford saying, yeah, I was right about Luke Shaw. He's a fat, overweight bastard who can't run. Anyway, fingers crossed he doesn't play slab Ed, but I mean, you know, there's more chance that... Well, I'm trying to think of it.
RJ, there's more chance of me sleeping with multiple women tonight than Ollie not starting Slabhead.
Okay, that's actually a good example. Thank you for your suggestion.
Now talk about the attack, please, because your defense is
back,
fucked.
which is a bit depressing.
Your defense is fucked anyway. And
I mean, I didn't even talk about our midfield. Like,
well, there are suggestions to Niall start, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I want you to talk about the attack because I'm structuring this, RJ, and you're unstructuring it before my eyes, which is very upsetting.
Okay,
that attack.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, Ciaran, to be fair, has done a very good job in, you know, giving a good analysis. And I do think, look, maybe all they didn't really want Ronaldo just because of his. Maybe it was like a Glazer signing and just to get the fans back on board. But I do think, look, Ronaldo is he's a magic player, to be fair, you know, unlike the certain midget that is in League One. But however, I do think he probably will start Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's desperate for some goals. And I do think he's angry after what happened with Portugal. Wouldn't be surprised because, you know, Rui Patricio is a fraud and God forbid should retire right now. Anyway, you know how it is, lads. I do think Ronaldo will start. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Greenwood up top. I think, you know, obviously he's been a bit greedy this season, but I think if we can have him up top, get him in front of Ben Foster. I love the cycling GK, but I think, you know, we got to get the 3 points and we move forward.
If I hear one more time that Greenwood's been greedy, I'm going to pull out the... Do you know what? We're doing
He
this.
has!
Does anyone remember when Ronaldo first got to Manchester United? Are any of you old enough to remember those brilliant times? Kenny, you're definitely not. Kieran, RJ, either of you old enough to remember Ronaldo when he first got to United?
I can't say when he first joined. To be fair, I can't say when he first joined. I mean, I think I only kind of first start to remember him like kind of 06, 07, that sort of time. So yeah.
Would you like me to? I can.
Go on and Niall. Enlighten us.
I'll help you. He was the most selfish,
go on, Niall, go
absolute selfish little tosser who Gary Neville at one point looked like he wanted to drop kick, right? And Ronaldo's lucky Roy Keane wasn't still there, because Roy Keane would have put 2-footed, right? So this whole selfish shit is going to stop, and it's going to stop now, because all of the best players believe they have the confidence to score. Mason Greenwood literally thinks he can score with every shot he has. Maybe that's wrong, maybe that's right. With maturity, he'll learn. But also look at Salah. He's hardly giving the ball away to all of his players and not getting goals. Salah's quite selfish. Mbappe is quite selfish. All of the top players are selfish. So this whole selfish shit stops now, because I've already dealt with many Ronaldo fanboys, and I'm continuing to deal with them on a daily basis because they don't understand football. Now, I just wanted to put that out there. RJ, do you want to apologise for your comment?
I mean, you say Ronaldo was arrogant when he was younger, but this arrogant kid got
said 5 Ballon d'Ors. I said selfish.
Yeah.
I never called him arrogant.
Selfish, greedy, same thing in this modern world. Okay, well, still selfish. He still got 5 Ballon d'Ors, second highest ever, and I want Greenwood to do as well.
He didn't win his first Ballon d'Or when he first joined in 2004. He had to mature.
No one's like that. Yeah, no one's going to win like that. Messi didn't win when he was a kid.
I'm not arguing about that. I'm just saying that when Ronaldo first got to United, he was a little bit of a selfish wanker as well, and he looked like Gary Neville was going to drop kick him, and Fergie had to keep protecting him because he kept doing shit that
Gary Neville couldn't drop kick shit. Like,
are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure I saw him drop kick it.
Man took one look at Patrick Vieira and fucking shot himself. Like, come on.
You're joking.
Gary Neville used to. We had
RJ. Gary Neville used to
stood up to him.
Gary Neville used to send people 6 feet in the air when he had to. Do you not remember some of the tackles that Neville would put in?
Well, congratulations. I do know some of his tackles. Yes.
Well, exactly. So you could hardly say that he shat himself when he saw fucking Patrick Vieira, because he would have probably been one of the players to send him 6 feet in the air, along with Roy Keane and Scholesy and the rest of them. They all knew how to get into a fight. They're Manchester boys, aren't they? They know how to get into a fight. But Kenny, talk to me about the situation in the forward line. Do you want to see a Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho front three tomorrow? Would you like to see Ronaldo rested? Who are you playing on midweek? Is it Atalanta? Villarreal. Okay. Would you like to save Ronaldo for Villarreal, which is going to be quite a tricky game and it's away from home, so you might win that. But what do you want to see?
I would say yes, but with United, honestly, Watford is going to be a massive game. This is going to be. We are going to struggle with it. But I do think that I would want to see a Rashford Sancho Greenwood. I know, I know a lot of people will be saying we'll need Ronaldo last minute. Maybe we can put him on the season so if we need 1-0, maybe if we need a goal last minute. You know what to go for. Yeah.
What do you mean a goal last minute against Walker? Oh dear Christ, Kenny, come on now.
This is why I'm laughing. This is why I'm laughing, because the standards. RJ, 1 minute. The standards of your club have gone from we're winning the title to Norwich is Watford is a big game for us. Like, fuck me. It's only taken you about 3 or 4 months to legitimately catapult. Well, you're the one saying you believe bloody Ronaldo against Watford. Like, bloody hell. Like, you could easily start Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho and get a result.
Coming off bad form, he wants them back into good.
He's not in bad form. He scored 2 goals in the Champions League against Atalanta. He just can't score against the top teams, which we've seen before.
No, but I'm saying coming from international. No, shut up.
Oh, what? Because Portugal.
I'm talking about like internationally. He's had a bad run of form because.
Well, that doesn't matter. He's about to go back home to the glory Manchester United. Not so glorious at the moment, but he's going back. International one, it makes no difference. I mean, he's been in poor form in the Premier League, but he's played against City and Liverpool, so it's been quite difficult.
I mean,
I just don't understand
why. Arguably our best attacker. in those games.
What against City? What against City and Liverpool? Did you even get the ball to
I mean,
to him? And well,
I mean, he's the only
answer
one that
the
actually gave us a shot. To be fair, against City, he's the only one that took
That's
a shot.
a lie.
against City.
Greenwood actually had the shot because it was.
Yeah, and where did Greenwood put that? Where did Greenwood put that actually?
I like how
Refresh my
RJ
memory.
is now. Well, RJ basically it came at him at such a speed and such a close distance he couldn't sort his feet out. Believe it or not, I've seen that happen to the
Come
best of them.
on. No,
You're
if Edison Cavani finishes that, man. Edison Cavani finishes. He does.
No, he
Cavani
doesn't.
finishes that.
I've seen Cavani legitimately. I've seen Cavani legitimately miss from 2 yards out. I'm not having to go at Cavani. I'm just saying that I've legitimately. I'm pretty sure it was a cross from Greenwood actually. Remember, Greenwood doesn't pass. But I'm pretty sure it was a cross from Greenwood and Cavani actually put it wide.
I've seen Messi tapping.
Was it last season? It probably was last season. But all
There
I'm
was a
saying
header
is
against Villarreal.
that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is you're not going to score every single goal. And yes, Greenwood probably should have scored that. But to be frankly honest, it did come at him at such a pace. And he was actually quite close to Edison that he just couldn't sort his feet out. Happens to the best of them. I've seen Ronaldo do that before. I'm sorry. RJ keeps fighting against Greenwood, so I just have to fight RJ.
I don't fight against Greenwood. I like Greenwood. It's just like you can't be biased towards him. That's the thing.
How the fuck have I just been biased to him?
Because you criticise Ronaldo, but you won't criticise Greenwood. Greenwood this season's been horrible.
Hold on. In what sentence right now have I just criticised Ronaldo?
You said that we should play without him just because we're playing against Watford.
Oh my! What? So because I've suggested you rest a 36-year-old man against bloody Watford.
Okay,
so
no, I'm sorry.
fully
He's
fit
not
and
just a
fresh
36-year-old man.
against
He's
Villarreal.
Ronaldo. He is Ronaldo,
Okay.
man.
Okay, so because I've suggested that you actually rest a man before a Villarreal game, and you're playing against fucking Watford, which might I add, Fergie would rotate against Watford because he would have played players like, I don't know, Park Ji-sung or fucking, you know, some of the Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, but
would have probably played.
Fergie made Ji-sung Park one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
What I'm saying is,
no other manager would be able to do that.
What I'm saying is, it's fucking Watford. You don't need to start the heavy hitters against bloody Watford. And it's always good to test out new things because guess what? You don't want to become one-dimensional, which it would appear you are a little bit.
To be fair, Watford are going to be saying is Ole and Solskjaer, so even out it.
Kenny, you have legitimately one of the best attack forces in world football. No matter which ones you pick.
I know.
No, but the thing is,
you
have to
pick
understand,
Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, Greenwood, or Rashford, Ronaldo, bloody Sancho, Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood. I mean, you have so many different options you could do. You have legitimately one of the best attack forces in world football. And just behind that, you got Bruno fucking Fernandes. So, you know, it's hardly like you're lacking quality.
Can we just talk
then
about
Maguire,
defense?
then Lindelof, then Shaw,
Well,
then
hold
Bissaka.
on. I said you have one of the best attack forces in world football. I didn't
Yeah,
suggest
but
anything
no,
other
literally,
than...
it doesn't matter if we have the greatest attack force. If we can't get the ball to them, what's the point of having them?
It's
Do you know what I mean?
Watford.
That's what I'm telling you.
How?
Yeah, I know, but they have a Melisar who's going to rip apart our defense. Like
One player
defense is
against
shite.
an entire team.
We're
They
gonna
have
play
Craig
five.
Okay, have you
Cathcart
seen?
as centre
Have you
back.
We're gonna play five.
have you seen our defense? Right, come on.
Oh my god! It's
They're even putting
against
fucking
what you think Josh King is going?
I'm saying Melisar. I'm telling you, Melisar will rip us apart tomorrow.
Oh my!
It's not standards. It's literally just we have shit players.
The standards of Manchester United are... Guys, someone go get a digger because they are way below ground zero. They're nearer the equator than on planet Earth. Like they're deep in the soil. It's Watford.
Oh my days.
At least we're in the top one.
Yeah, but the thing you have to understand is, Niall, right?
At least we're in the top
Like I
half.
said, I know we're one of the best attacks in the world.
RJ, are
You
you
can't
seriously
fucking do
telling
well.
me?
With, like I
Are
say,
you seriously telling me that this midfield is not better than Watford's midfield? Are you seriously telling me this?
If we play McFred, I think Watford will be better, genuinely.
Actually,
Because,
then
like I said,
that-
there's no defense of anything, and then the
that
means
how
that the centre backs
both
are.
of us, we're gonna play
Oh
Man
my,
City. That'd be
oh my
If
lord!
we, no,
Jesus.
listen, right? If we start this is the midfield I would start tomorrow. If we want to guarantee a win, right? I start Bruno, Donny, Fred. That's why I would do it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Donny's going to
swap
get
Fred,
it tomorrow.
swap Fred and McTominay, and you probably a better midfield.
Yeah, no, that's why I mean we're going to see McFred, which is literally going to be the reason why we're not going to win tomorrow. McFred
Hold
is going
on,
to be the reason why.
McFred are better than the
well.
McFred are better than the midfield of Watford.
No,
Hold on, let's. I highly doubt
You're
that.
just a Soko, mate.
Hold on, let's look.
Kenny's just mentioned the key point. They got Musa Sissoko. From
He's better
McFred
than
or
McFred.
oh my, you're joking.
He is.
Your football knowledge is
Well,
oh my
okay.
Lord, Jesus Christ.
The thing is, right?
Sissoko couldn't even hack it at Spurs.
To be fair, we drew to Everton.
No, okay, no. Spurs couldn't hack it with Sissoko. That's how I see
Oh
it.
my, you're drunk. You are drunk. Moving on.
I'm not. Okay,
you
so
fucking-
it's Sissoko's fault that Spurs didn't win a trophy for over 10 years. Like, yeah, okay,
Oh my-
gotcha.
He's like 39 years old. Moving swiftly on before I completely lose my mind. Sissoko is not in his 20s, I can assure you that much. But moving on. Right.
He's 30 something. Hold on. He's
30
32.
something.
Nah, come on, now, come on.
For Musa, okay, they've also got Danny Rose, who looks like you claim that Luke Shaw's Burger King.
No, but he's a left
Fucking
back.
Danny-
He's a left back. Why?
What the fuck is Luke Shaw then? A fucking left winger?
Luke Shaw's injured, isn't he?
Luke Shaw's
No,
Burger
no.
King. I'm telling you.
Well, if Luke Shaw is Burger King, then Danny Rose is a combination between
sorry.
Domino's Pizza and fucking Papa John's.
Nah, okay, to be fair, that sounds a lot better, but no.
Have you seen the? I don't mean to fat
Nah,
shame
to
Danny
be
Rose
fair-
here, but have you seen the size of the fucker now?
Nah, he's not as big as Luke Shaw. Surely not.
Go have a look at a picture, RJ. Go look at a picture of Danny Rose in a Watford
Yeah,
kit
okay,
this
hold on.
year.
To be fair,
He looks chunky. But moving on. Whilst RJ does that,
Have you
Kieran,
seen?
let's start
Have
on.
you seen? Okay.
Let's start on to the next topic, and it's the goalkeeper situation. And again, this is going to get even more violent with this one down there. But let's talk about Henderson and De Gea. According to Samuel Luckhurst, the Manchester United players genuinely prefer Dean Henderson's presence compared to David De Gea's last season because he is more vocal and comes off his line. Now, there is statistical evidence to suggest that David De Gea and sweeper keeper are not something you put in the same sentence. But there is the statistical input there to suggest that Dean Henderson and sweeper keeper is something you put in the same line. There's also been comparisons that Dean Henderson prevents the fires, whereas David De Gea puts the fire out once he's caused it. What's your viewpoint on this, and how do you want United to go forward? And RJ, will you stop saying "Oh dear Christ"? Like,
Because that is horrible.
What to suggest that this is a RJ? You can have your say.
They're
Kieran,
fucking racist
you start us
pricks.
off. What? How's that
What?
racist?
Wow. Wow.
Going against the fucking lad who's not British. Fucking hell, like.
What? No, to suggest that
Okay,
something
Okay, go on,
might
Kieran,
be,
sorry about that.
to suggest
Brexit
something
means
that
Brexit.
might- to suggest something that might need changing.
Yeah,
because
that's
of
what I mean. Like, they're
attribute.
trying to kick out. They're trying to kick out everyone who's not British.
Oh my god!
Nah, look,
like,
here. Let's just go on. Go on.
Right,
Now.
Kieran,
Okay. I will say what I have to
Listen.
say.
Listen, my feelings on it is that, you know, for me, I think if individually you look at the two goalkeepers, and to me, David De Gea is the better goalkeeper. There's no doubt about that. I think Dean Henderson, he's still, you know, fairly young for a goalkeeper. I think he's mid-20s. He's still learning, and I think we have seen some good signs from him. But you have to look at David De Gea's performances, not just in the last 2 or 3 seasons, but over his entire career, and how much he's he's saved us really. Under, if you look at under Van Gaal, either under David Moyes, Jose Mourinho, where would we have been without David De Gea in those seasons? We've been even lower than we actually are.
Completely fucked. But do you not think that there is a point where David De Gea's reluctance to come off his line to sweep up, especially when you're playing with a high line with fucking Lindelof and Maguire, which, massive great big gap between there. Do you not think that his reluctance to sweep up a little bit more can cause United a few problems with, shots being had on goal? Whereas we saw with Dean Henderson, I think Spurs was a prime example last season, where he was just sweeping up and dealing with all this. Do you not think that there's a sort of tactical difference between both goalkeepers that might need to be discussed?
I think there is. I think it's a good point. I think you look at De Gea. He is someone who quite often does like to kind of stay in his box. He doesn't usually come out and take many risks in that sense, whereas Dean Henderson does do that. And it does obviously cause a little bit of a problem, especially when someone like Bissaka gets caught out of position, or he plays someone onside, and all of a sudden you've got one man running through on goal. We've seen that quite a few times. And I do agree, Dean Henderson, he not only just, in terms of coming out of his goal, but from crosses and stuff, I feel like he is a little bit more imposing. He does like to come out and punch and, kind of deal with it a little bit more. So in terms of that attribute, I'd 100% agree and say that, Dean Henderson's got De Gea B on that sense. However, I feel like overall, I would still, want De Gea in goal rather than Dean Henderson overall. I think in terms of a shot stopper, in terms of reflexes and these sort of things, I think David De Gea is still one of the best in the league, if not even Europe. I mean, I know obviously this last game against Man City wasn't his best, to say the least, but I still think that he is a top level goalkeeper, and there's no doubt about it. So I feel like, I can understand why a lot of people kind of criticise De Gea for that, and that is one thing that is frustrating. We have conceded a few goals because of his lack of, I guess you'd say, ambition to come out of his goal. But at the same time, he has saved us on numerous occasions. So I think it's a fair point. It is a fair point, but I'd still take De Gea over Henderson.
It's a tough one because they're two polar opposite goalkeepers, and I think that's the difficulty when comparing the two, because Dean Henderson is a sweeper keeper and De Gea is a shot stopper, because they're so different in their attributes and the way they play the game in terms of being a goalkeeper. It's really difficult to get a fair comparison over the two keepers. It really depends on what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants from a keeper. Does he want a keeper to come out and sweep the defence to clear up after whatever shit show they're performing, or does he want someone to stay on their line and do the shot stopping? If he wants a shot stopping, you pick De Gea. If he wants a sweeper keeper, you probably pick Dean Henderson, because Hendo will offer you more of that sort of calmness in clearing the lines. But before we go to RJ, let's go to Kenny first. Kenny, what do you want to see from the United goalkeeper?
I think it's a really interesting situation, because I think before Atalanta, I think I would definitely say De Gea. But the thing is, the mistakes are slowly coming back. You see against Man City, against Atalanta, there's two mistakes. And I know against Man City it was good for the rest of the game, but it's that one moment that can cost you the game, and that second goal basically was crazy. And I do think Dean
I just want to defend De Gea just on one thing. You did have Luke Shaw and Maguire who appear to not be able to clear a ball that comes near them. So, whilst De Gea does rightly deserve a little bit of criticism, he does have two absolute clowns in that defence. When it comes to a ball coming near them, it's like, fuck me, I'm not touching that shit. What are you mad? Do you want me to kick it? Nah, I can't do that. Don't be so silly. And then it just lands at fucking, was it Bernardo Silva back post or God knows what? Someone back post to just try and then De Gea should definitely not be letting that in his near post. But to give him a bit of leeway, he did have two fucking idiots in front of him. So, and we'll get to them in a minute. But carry on.
It just shows how bloody our mess our defence is, and how much of a mess our club is really. But I think Dean Henderson in the time he was here, because people are going to mention that Liverpool game. Because whenever I debate about De Gea, whenever I've been paying attention to a topic, it always, whenever it's Liverpool, that was really his only probably bad game. I know he had mistakes before that, by the way. I know he had mistakes with Sheffield United. That was probably his only bad sort of game, because I think in the other games where he's made mistakes, he's been like, not have proper mistakes like, like Karius or De Gea sometimes. It's been like, it shouldn't be being beat out of that. I can't word it correctly, but I do think Dean Henderson is also much more of a leader than De Gea, and I think that will help the defense massively. I mean, I think our best one of clean sheets last season came with Dean Henderson. We got that, I think it was like seven clean sheets out of 8 or something, and it was really, really good because our defense positioned well. Like, it was really, sorry, my wife went off over there, but it was really more stable. And I think, sorry, I'm waffling a bit here. But what I was going to say is that I think he plays tiny bit like an Edison, where he can get the ball up the field quite quickly. Now, of course, he's not as good as Edison, but I think you know what.
It's a fair comment. I mean, that it was Man City, wasn't it, where he quickly got the ball to Luke Shaw, and then down the left wing you go, and I think it went to, if I remember correctly, Rashford. Then Rashford slots it past Edison for, I think that was the second goal, wasn't it? Because if I remember correctly, in that game, didn't Martial win you a penalty that Bruno converted within like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He also did something similar to West Ham. He got the ball to Pogba.
Yeah.
Got an absolute world.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. That's another attribute you can add in as well. RJ, what's your view on this? I don't know why.
All right. Well, first and foremost,
I think everyone's having a serious debate here, RJ. I don't know why you're laughing.
No, I will too. But you have to realize, right, is how comical this story is. We're worrying about our bloody keepers, right? Obviously, I know David Hayes is getting older, right? Obviously, he's getting into his prime right now, because obviously a keeper usually gets into his prime about 30, 31, roughly about that, right? And obviously, I do understand time is going for Dean Henderson to be United keeper. I do understand that, right? And I do understand he's a very talented lad. I do agree. However, right, I do find this kind of comical, right? The fact that we constantly keep going back to this discussion, right? When we can easily look at the end of the season and see what happens, right? The main problem that we have, if you look back at every goal that we've had, right, David De Gea has probably made 1 or 2 mistakes this season, which is fair for a keeper. Every keeper has made 1 or 2 bad decisions. Ederson has made a bad decision this season. Alisson definitely made a bad decision, especially against West Ham, right, where he couldn't catch a ball. But you know what I mean. Like I said, so what I'm telling you is, right, I think what we need to do is to stop focusing on this huge rivalry that seems to be between De Gea and Dean Henderson, because quite frankly, if we want to move as a football club, we should look at the problems that we have.
It's not a rivalry.
We should know.
It's not a rivalry. RJ, what they're doing?
Apparently,
no, they're analysing both keepers. So they're analysing what keeper. So I don't think Ole knows. I don't think Ole knows what he wants from his goalkeeper. This isn't, De Gea is shit, De Gea needs to go. This isn't Dean Henderson is shit, Dean Henderson needs to go. These are 2 very, very different goalkeepers who offer 2 very, very different set of attributes. De Gea is the best shot stopper I've ever seen in world football. He has been crucial to Manchester United. And the old way of playing football, where United did play with a low block because you had Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, De Gea was superb. He was incredible. I think back to that, I think it was that 2017 season, 2016, 2015, 2018. Yeah. I mean, every season that he played pretty much from when Fergie left to when he started having a little bit of a dip last season, he was incredible. He was the world's best goalkeeper in the world. But now football is slowly changing, and Ole and United are slowly changing. Ole and United want to play a little bit of a higher line. They want to impose themselves on the team. God knows why you'd want to do that with Lindelof and Maguire at the back, but hey ho, that's what they want to do. But what they're saying, what people are saying is, if you're gonna do that, is it really wise to have someone like David De Gea, who is reluctant to come off his line because that's not his game, whereas where Dean Henderson will come off his line, will sweep up the back, the stuff that comes past the defence, will come out for crosses, will impose himself a bit more, will be potentially a bit more vocal, will maybe be a bit more of a leader at the back, other than De Gea. Now, it depends. If Ole was to drop that line back 10 yards, I'd be saying you probably start De Gea, don't you? Because you're playing a little bit of a mid-low block, right? You're not trying to impose yourselves. You're sort of sitting in compact. That's De Gea style football. You're going to have a shot from distance. I'll happily have that. Thank you very much. But if Ollie's going to tell his centre-backs to get to the halfway line and leave all of that space there, there's such a gap between the goalkeeper and the centre-backs that you do need someone who's willing to come off that line to close that gap and sweep up the shit that comes past it. That's not slamming De Gea, right? That's not saying De Gea is shit, De Gea needs to go. That's looking at what Manchester United want from their goalkeeper and which goalkeeper suits the tactical sort of what United tactically want from their goalkeeper.
One thing I would argue with that, and you do make some good points, yes.
Thank you.
Like I said, both are two different keepers, and that will obviously. But I do think, especially when you look at this season, right, when we brought in Varane, right, Varane has controlled our defense completely. He's been an absolute gem. I will tell you that for a fact. He's put so many players right into shape, and I would even say, Bissaka has looked unbelievable right beside him, because he knows, right, that he's now going to be put into position. Well, not. Yeah, he looked better than what he was originally.
I'm not saying any of your players. I'm not saying any of your players look unbelievable, apart from actually Raphael Varane. Believe it or not, he's fucking
no, but
phenomenal.
They've looked better, and I think, and this is why we'll say, right, we won't ever get back to the top or back to the title if we have players like Maguire, Bailly, like trying to get into that, that too. Right, I personally think, and genuinely, I think Lindelof and Varane is our best centre-back pairing if we can keep both fit.
Again,
the two of them will work well together. And I do think, and genuinely, I think Luke Shaw should be dropped tomorrow, because I think he needs just to... something's wrong with him, right? Clearly he's either not fit or he's just not ours to play. Simple as that. There has to be one or two.
He could do with eating a salad. That's all I'll say.
I mean, I don't want to be cancelled, because if I do, I will regret it in later life.
It's not cancelling. I just think he should lay off the Mars bars and chuck a salad down his throat. I need to do the same.
When you insult someone because of their weight, there is a group of people who come after you.
I'm a fat bastard. I'll do it myself. Luke Shaw needs to hang off the battered Mars bars. He needs to shove an apple.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, Telles should start tomorrow, and I think if we do have Telles, he will give a tough time for Melisar. We need someone to be fast, which is Telles, someone who can go forward, Telles, who is reasonably okay defending, Telles, who's great dribbling, Telles, who is strong enough, Telles, who isn't fast, Telles.
you're
perfect.
You're trying to convince, I think, 3 people who agree Telles probably should start. That's not what we were talking about. What I wanted to talk about was what do you want?
Anyway, what my point is, I'll end it here.
Well, no, I'll just answer this quickly. What do you want from your defence? Do you want the halfway line, or do you want them as a mid-low block? What do you want from the United back line? Tell me.
I think Ole wants it to be a halfway line. I think he's, from the very beginning, he's always wanted that.
Right.
I do think Maguire does affect that. I don't think
which keeper do you think
100%.
Needs to play when your defence is on the halfway line?
Obviously, logically, it would say Henderson. However, if we do play a high line, and it does leave for teams to do the counter attack, I would still put De Gea in goals.
See,
just with the squad we have right now. That's
I
what I would
just
say.
completely disagree. I think United need to be smarter tactically, and this is a very sort of fascinating and interesting sort of tactical debate, because it's like, which keeper, because they're so different, what do you do? Now, I personally don't think United should go on the halfway line. I think that is a completely stupid idea. I think that is dumb and almost suicidal. I really honestly do. I think United should shut themselves into a mid-block, right? So not on the halfway line, drop them back a bit, because Maguire's recovery pace is horrific. It's woeful. And Lindelof is not much better, right? He's not much better. So I think United should drop themselves into a mid-block, which again, I've seen Chelsea do. I've seen City do a mid-block against Liverpool, for fuck's sake. And then I've seen Liverpool respond with the same way in the second half. Like, you don't have to sit on the halfway line. You can drop them back a bit, especially when your centre-backs have got the recovery pace of a fucking gorilla. Like, I'm sorry, but it's really...
Okay.
It's pathetic.
I wouldn't say gorilla, but I would say sloth.
Well, okay, I'll probably just say a woman, an old lady of a mobility scooter then, because some of the recovery pace is absolutely woeful. Right, so I would drop them into a mid block, right, and that way you can. I would play De Gea. By the way, I'm not saying that I'll play Henderson. I'm saying that if you're playing with a high line, you're gonna have to play Henderson. It's the most logical move. I personally don't think you should play with a high line, because I don't think you've got the players for it. I don't necessarily think you've got the players in your centre of midfield to dominate a game like that. And I certainly don't think you've got the recovery pace of in your defence to be able to track back. I would chuck you into a mid-block and play De Gea. That's how I would do it. But, yeah, it's an interesting one. But I think everyone here would probably play De Gea, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Just chuck yourselves into a mid-block, lads, and you've got a problem solved. So, Ollie, if you are watching this, 4 lads are doing your job for you. Listen up.
I'm sure he's watching.
Well, he fucking best be, because to be frankly honest, he could actually do a learning a bit here. We'll get Carrick learning. Do you know what? We'll come to Carrington and we'll teach you tactics. Let's talk Max Aarons next, though, because Max Aarons is being considered again by Manchester United, not only Kieran Trippier, which makes a lot of fucking sense considering Kieran Trippier is nearly 32 years old. I thought Ollie wanted youth and you know, energy. His transfer signings would suggest otherwise. But Max Aarons, Ciaran, would you like to see Max Aarons come in, challenge Wan-Bissaka a bit? I do think Wan-Bissaka lacks a challenge there, because I know you've got Dalot, but Ollie clearly doesn't rate Dalot. So Max Aarons comes in, kicks Wan-Bissaka up the ass, and if Wan-Bissaka can't work out how to, you know, look like a half-decent offensive right-back, then he sits on the bench.
I mean, I wouldn't say, obviously, right-backs are priority position. Obviously, that would be CDM. But I think having Max Aarons as a backup, I mean, in an ideal world where, obviously, we can make whatever transfers we want and it's career mode or whatever, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I don't know how much, obviously, they'd want us to pay for him. I'm sure because it's Manchester United, they'd inflate the price a little bit.
That's usually how it goes. He's got long on his contract, if I'm being honest.
That would go in our favour, to be fair. If that is the case, that would go in our favour. But I mean, obviously, that would you know, if he can have the same impact as Tellez had on Luke Shaw. Obviously, this season so far, Luke Shaw's not been brilliant, but obviously last season was he player of the season last season, or fans player or someone players player?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so he obviously had a brilliant season last season. Obviously had a very decent Euros as well. So if we could bring somebody in that could have the same impact on Wan-Bissaka, that'd be brilliant. I think obviously, you know, again, he's still young, so you know he probably wouldn't be expecting to kind of be playing 90 minutes week in, week out. So it wouldn't be the worst thing for us. I don't think it's necessarily a priority at this point. But you know, if the right deal comes available, I know it sounds like a really kind of political safe answer, but if the right player comes available, I guess, then I wouldn't mind doing the deal. I mean, I guess if everything kind of aligns. But at the same time, I do think that CDM should be the priority. If we are going to spend any money in January or the summer, I think we need to look at the midfield. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to it, definitely.
Yeah, I actually think you got three positions that need investment in the summer with no questions asked. One being CDM straight away. I mean, how that was not dealt with this summer, I'll never know. A right back, I definitely think that needs sorting. It needs addressing quite quickly. And a centre back, I think Varane is brilliant, but you need to put someone with Varane. Interestingly, though, United are linked to Wesley Fofana, so Fofana Varane, that is a defence that finally looks like it has something about them. Also, De Ligt could be hanging around. The only issue is his agent is Mino Raiola, so you can wipe him off your Christmas list. Yeah, RJ, it's okay. I didn't mention De Ligt for a reason. Fofana, though, is not managed. Yeah, I know. But Fofana's not managed by Mino Raiola, if I remember correctly. Mustafa says Max Aarons can actually cross the ball, unlike Wan-Bissaka. Ole out, he's fucking up Man U. Wan-Bissaka needs to dump his wife and focus on football, not his wife. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to dump his wife and stop taking drugs. Okay.
Quite a few accusations in there from Chris.
Ollie is clearly just a druggie, apparently. Would make a little bit more sense with some of his team selections, but I don't want to accuse him of being a druggie. Luton were terrible, I'm fuming. Big up though, lads. Fuck United though. Now we're fresh trim. Absolutely. Fofana wants to play for Ollie. Is he drunk? No. It was said Fofana wouldn't be against joining Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side, but we all know that come the summer there might not be the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer part. I don't want to guarantee it, but I think after seeing some of the performances of late, think the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bit might not quite be there. But we digress. Kenny, quickly talk to me about Max Aarons.
I think he's a really promising young talent. I think he would give. I don't know how Wan-Bissaka is. I only know Aaron and Marvin. I think he would give Marvin a good fighting spot, and I think he would actually could potentially even maybe get a starting role, potentially. But yeah, I think it could be really good move for all parties.
Yeah, no, I hear that. RJ, Max Aarons, would you be keen on having him at the Theatre of Dreams?
100%. Very talented young lad. Good potential. I think he's just been ruined this season by Daniel Farke, like other youngsters at Norwich. Bring him to Old Trafford and let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Because Delo won't do shit, for a fact.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Fucking hell, me and RJ agree without actually having to argue about it. Fucking hell, hell has frozen over, guys.
Jesus. Who wouldn't know?
I am. I'm also doing a watch on for United Watford, mind you, and possibly even Leicester Chelsea. I'm joking. No, Kenny, I don't think you're understanding. I'm testing out doing a watch along for United Watford to see what the viewing figures are like. Fucking hell. Read your messages. I've already messaged you it once. Now, let's talk Jesse Lingard. Oh boy. Let me get ready for this one because there's a lot. So let's start with what Solskjaer has said. He said, in regards to the contract situation, I've not been in them very closely. I can wonder why. For me, Jesse is still a big part of the squad and important, and he gives quality to a group every day. Every player wants to play as much as possible. Contract talks between Jesse Lingard and Manchester United have now collapsed. That is, as far as Lingard is concerned, the matter is now closed. It is now expected that Lingard will look to leave the club on a free transfer in the summer. The word shit show has been used to describe the contract negotiations. Ciaran, Jesse Lingard, I said, and I got a lot of hate from RJ saying, "Oh no, we must keep J-Lings. He's back." I said, I don't think he's going to get in over Bruno Fernandes, and you could cash in on £30 million here and go get yourself a CDM. But moving on. Who would have thought that £30 million could have got you a CDM? I know, unbelievable. It could have got you a Ruben Neves, but
Keep shit on me,
instead
please.
of
Stop, please, for the love of God.
instead of doing that, Ollie decided to do what RJ wanted and kept him. And now you're going to lose him for free. Is this a job well done from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United?
Well, if there's one club that doesn't surprise me that this is happening at, it's Manchester United right now, to be honest, the way everything's being run. But I mean, yeah, I think the way it was described, I think is pretty well what it is. It's a bit of a shit show, to be honest. I mean, this season, obviously, Lingard, he's only really kind of had substitute appearances. But actually, if you look at what he's done so far this season, for what I think a lot of people expected him to do, which probably wasn't that much considering he was just going to be a squad player, he's actually popped up with a few decent moments. Obviously, the assist for Ronaldo's winner against Villarreal, got the winning goal against West Ham. You know, he's done a few decent things this season, but I think, against Young. Oh well, you got it there. Too fair.
Of course, Kenny. Of course, Kenny would literally do that. Like that's literally him. Like you fucking potato.
You got me. To be fair, you got me. I can't lie, you got me. But no. Realistically, I think in terms of Lingard, you have to look at it from the perspective of, you know, the player. I think he was happy at West Ham. I've got to say, I thought he was playing, you know, obviously playing week in week out. He was on a brilliant goal scoring streak, and I just feel like if he's not going to play in this system, if he's not going to fit into this system, I think it is better that we do offload him. Obviously, if he goes for free and we miss out on getting any sort of transfer fee for him, I think that is a massive blow to us. But at the same time, I think that obviously in this day and age, the player power is always going to win. You know, player power is much bigger than any club in the end of the day. And obviously, Lingard, he's been a fairly decent servant to the club down the years, but I can only see us ending one way. And obviously, with Lingard posting the stuff about West Ham today and everything, realistically, you can only see one outcome, and that is him leaving either in January, potentially a loan move until the summer, and then the club that loans him buys him, or even West Ham buying back maybe, who knows. But yeah, I would have loved to actually have got a transfer fee for him, but in the end of the day, if a player's not happy at the club, there's no point keeping him. But it was a little bit of a shit show, I've got to say.
Yeah, you could have got 30 million and spent it on Ruben Neves, who would have been a much better player than McTominay and Fred. Tyler says, now you want to stream together for a Liverpool game? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Yes, T-boys, I accept that. Nice to see. Ollie out, he's making the players leave. Wanker Tanker. Lord Lingardinho won the pass against Young Boys. Kenny, talk to me about Lingard.
Yeah, I do think he should be. I just can't believe that we didn't let him go in this one. Ollie priced him out the move. Also, I just realised with that 30 million, you could probably recoup another 10 million. Test the waters with the young 40 million. Like, Jesus Christ, man. God's sake. I can't believe this football price. But yeah, I think his situation's done, basically. I think he is. Unless some last minute thing happens.
What's that last minute thing? Drop Bruno for Lingard? I'd love to see that.
What are you saying here, mate? You're confusing all of us, mate.
No, RJ, I would love to see the conversation with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Bruno Fernandes when he tells Bruno to sit on the bench for Jesse Lingard in the last attempt to keep Jesse at the club. I would love to watch that conversation unfold. It ends up with Ole getting his head kicked in, mind you.
Unfortunately so.
God. It's nothing unfortunate about it.
Lingard on penalties instead of Bruno.
Jesus Christ. Ronaldo will love that. But RJ, Lingard, you said keep him in the summer. It turned out to be a bad move. What What do you say now, mate? I swear RJ's just trying to avoid talking about Jesse Lingard now. It's very upsetting. That is RJ, you're muted if you're talking. I don't know what he's doing. I feel like we should wait for RJ because he specifically said keep Jesse Lingard. There he is. Oh no, he muted himself again.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What the fuck is this wrong? Oh, all right,
I can hear you now. Oh no, you've just muted yourself again. We could have heard you. We heard you.
Nah,
when you
someone's
said,
doing this to me. I can tell.
No, now we can hear you.
Who's doing this to me now? Nah.
Don't touch a thing.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Right.
Talk to me about Jesse
Lingard.
Lingard.
So first and foremost, I want to say, right, big Jesse Lingard fan, and I did when he went down on loan, I thought that was the best decision for him because he needed minutes last season, and I think West Ham was a very good place, and it did treat him very well. Now I thought obviously with that form, he could have brought him back into the squad. He would have teamed up with Rashford potentially when he came back, and we've actually had a great enough team, and possibly even do better than what we're doing right now. But unfortunately, that just never happened. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jesse said, "Look, I need to focus on my career. I love United, but the fact is, I have to go." And I wouldn't blame him. I would probably do the same if I wasn't getting the minutes. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, has I done a stinker on this? I would say yes, because like I said, Jesse Lingard last season was one of the best. The impact he had at West Ham was probably one of the biggest things they've had for the last few years, right? And I do think West Ham fans love Jesse Lingard just because of the movements, the ability, the even dancing that he brought. To be fair, that kind of got a good vibe from the whole West Ham fans. But I don't know what we do with him. I hope he signs a new contract, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Simple as that.
Yeah, do you regret saying keep him?
If I don't want to speak.
Shut up. Looking back now, I would say yes.
No, that's not worth.
But I think at the time, it was a bit logical to keep him.
Yeah.
What? Sure. Anyway,
it just says RJ said keep
at the
him.
time, it was logical.
But it didn't work too well. Believe it or not. Shocking, really.
Not all things go well, Look at England.
No, but I just want to say that I am becoming somewhat of a football guru, because I predicted this to happen with Lingard. I predicted that Aaron Ramsdale would kick Leno out of the team and take the #1 spot at Arsenal. I predicted that Ronaldo would perform stinkers against the top teams in the Premier League. I predicted Mason Greenwood's best youngster in the Premier League, which is true. What else have I predicted right? I predicted Ole was a clown back end of last season, when everyone was still...
Do you mind predicting us to win the title then, mate? Do you mind just
No,
slipping
that's a curse. That's a curse.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I seem to be on a good roll, and I wouldn't want to upset that good run. So I can possibly do something. If you hire me as manager, I can make you win the league. Though. It would not be that difficult. RJ, it would not be that difficult. Yes, you lose Ronaldo because me and him are having a bust-up first training session.
Yeah.
Probably when he turns around and goes, "Who the fuck are you?" and I deck him one. But Bruno and the rest of them will look at that and see Ronaldo on the floor after I've decked him, and they'll definitely work hard in matches. I can assure you of that. I'll just have boots near me.
But you should do that to Maguire first. I think everyone will get on your side. That's it.
Oh no, Maguire's being kicked out of the club first. I'm not even bothering wasting my energy.
100%. You probably should tell Luke Shaw to probably get a nutritionist.
Oh,
he's pay a nutritionist to be fair at this rate.
I'm hiring his own nutritionist, not just a club one. I'm hiring him his own, and he's gonna eat salads, and do a lot of running. He's doing a lot of gym work. I can assure you of that. And Greenwood's getting a new 5-year deal to stop other clubs from trying to poach him. I also might call back Brandon Williams because I'm not sure on Dallo. But moving on. Um, let's talk about CDM actually, because as Ciaran pointed out, CDM is definitely United's biggest problem. And there has been some developments on a current CDM currently at Barcelona. And as we all know, Barcelona are in a shit show when it comes to finances. Manchester United are considering a move for Frankie de Jong next summer, and it's a move that is gathering momentum. Now, if you could actually try and somehow keep Donny van der Beek and start playing him. He does have 2 legs, 2 feet, and can kick a football. He's actually not too bad at it. You could have a midfield 3 of Frankie de Jong, Donny van der Beek, and Bruno Fernandes. Oh boy, doesn't that sound beautiful? Now, Ciaran, Frankie de Jong, would you like him to replace McTominay and Fred?
It wouldn't be a bad replacement, to be fair. It wouldn't be a bad replacement. But I mean, again, he's one of those players which I think would work very well with Donny van der Beek. Now, obviously, whether he's going to get any game time, I still just can't even see Van der Beek getting any sort of game time consistently in the team whilst Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's still at the club. Obviously, that might change. But I mean, I feel like obviously those two, they'd work together very well. Of course, they would. They'd understand each other's games very well. And obviously, I think one of the things that de Jong would have over McTominay and Fred is that playing obviously for Barcelona, it doesn't matter what manager's there. The core value of being able to take the ball and just have a decent control of the ball and decent spatial awareness as well. I believe training at Barcelona with those caliber of players that he has been, he will have learnt that, and his ball retention will be top notch, and that'll be something which obviously McTominay and Fred definitely don't have at this point. So it'd be a big point. It'd be a big plus for us, I think, if we were to get him in. In some ways, you could argue maybe we need a bit more of a kind of defensive-minded defensive midfielder, if you know what I mean. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Obviously, feel free to have your opinion on it. But I feel like, de Jong, I don't think he's really known for his kind of defensive abilities. Obviously, he's not terrible at it, but I wouldn't say he's known for that sort of thing. But at the same time, he wouldn't be worse than McTominay and Fred, in my opinion. So I'd be open to it. I'd definitely be open to it. I think there'd be a few candidates I would look at, other than Frankie de Jong. But to be fair, I wouldn't mind Frankie de Jong at all. So if we were to bring him in, I would not complain.
He's one of them weird ones. He's not like a DM. He's like a defensive playmaker, which is still really, really good for what United need. And again, it all goes back down to tactics and what your manager wants to do tactically. Do you want someone to, shield the defence like an Ndidi, put in a few tackles like that? Do you want a Fabinho who can do a bit of it all? Do you want a de Jong who is going to dictate play from deep and allow the other players to move on a bit forward? Again, all comes back down to the vision your manager has, and I'm not sure what vision your manager has. Quick question, Ciaran. Was it difficult picking an attribute that Frankie de Jong's got that's better than Fred McTominay's, or was it quite easy?
It wasn't the most difficult thing I've ever done. Let's just say that. It wasn't the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't want you to have to work too hard on thinking of an attribute. Dylan says, Ciaran is my favourite member of the show, and I demand he gets a pay rise immediately. Yeah, I'll start paying him one day.
Yeah, thank you.
De Jong's wages are high. Water is wet. You've just spent £500,000 on Ronaldo's wages for a player that really, really, really you didn't need. You're going to talk about wages being high for a DM that you desperately need. Don't do that. Don't be that man. Just go get that money out of the bank. You're Manchester United. You're not poor. You can pretend you are, and you can pretend you're Tottenham, but you're not Tottenham. You have money. Go get that bank account card. Go sign that DM and give him his wages. It's very simple. Also, without Paul Pogba, you save some money there as well, because Pogba's definitely gone in the summer. Niall looks like Kevin Owens wrestler. If you know, you know. I have no idea who you're about.
A certain wrestler.
Okay, nice. Kenny, Frankie de Jong. Yay or no?
I think I do think he's a very, very good player. I think what he's good at is he can transition the ball well, and I think that is something that we need. I think our tactics need that, and I think it was something that it was said in the actual article. United wanted him because he can transition the ball well, and that is what we really need. I think he's also a very good. Just in general, really, I do see what Ciaran's saying, which he's not really known for his defensive abilities. I do really see what you are saying. I still think it would work though. I mean, I know he played defensive midfielder for Ajax. I think it was. I also think it would.
Got to a semi-final playing DM of the Champions League.
It was.
Oh Jesus Christ! What's that move? No, we didn't hear a word you just said.
But I said, and he got a big move to Barcelona there as well.
Yeah.
So I think he would work, and yeah, I was really happy when I did hear the news, and I think he fit into the team perfectly. I think even the Pogba leaves, you got De Jong and Van der Beek who work together really well, and you got De Jong, Van der Beek, and Bruno Fernandes.
I don't think it's an if Pogba leaves anymore. I think even United. I think Pogba asked for the same wages as Ronaldo. Manchester United looked at that and went, "Do one." They literally went, "You have offered us fuck all in your time at United. Do one. You do not get £500,000 a week. Go away. He is something else." But RJ, Frankie de Jong, yay or nay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know you're a big. I know you're a big fan of McFred.
Deeply. I would deeply be distraught after they would be broken up. Jeez, just like One Direction. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so 1,000% Frankie de Jong, get him to United. I actually genuinely think it will be probably one of the best deals we'll do, because I don't think we'll spend that much money just because of the fact that Barcelona are in ruins right now. So much in debt. I mean, we could definitely splash the cash in a good sense, where we should probably spend about 50 million on him. He's very young, like I said, very talented. I would even argue that it would probably be one of the biggest bargains because he is a very talented player. And I agree with Ciaran. I will make this point. I don't think we need a player like Ndidi. I don't think we need a player who will just sit back and just let Donny and Bruno do a thing. I think we need someone who can control that midfield, who can assert their dominance in that midfield and potentially help the attackers get the ball, because that's the problem we have right now. I don't think, like I said, yeah, we have problems in defence, but I do think if we get, say, a centre-back in the summer, right, or in January, fingers crossed, we can all, let's pray to God that, the Glazers are feeling, a bit Christmassy, and trying to give us some gifts, and, probably centre-back, right-back, and a DM would be nice. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping for many things, but I'm
also
success.
hoping for a 12
anyway,
inch.
my point.
I'm also hoping for a 12-inch cock, but I don't think I'm going to get that.
Don't look at the show this morning or whatever it was called. Like, that guy clearly has problems with that one. But anyway, what I will tell you is, no, what was I going to say? 100% bring him to the club. Hopefully McFred doesn't even play ever again. And like I said, we can even use Garner as well. Like I said, he could be a backup, probably the little protege to our newest signing, I guess. So yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes. Oh yeah, that's another thing I would have done. I would have sold Fred to Brazil. He can just play international.
We can't resell to a country, Niall. We can't resell.
You want to bet? You want to bet? I'll find a way. And I'll just recall James Garner, because to be frankly honest, there's nothing Garner can't do that Fred can do. Like Garner is no worse than Fred. I can assure you of that. I've watched him. He's actually probably better. Mustafa says now cry. I don't know why I'm crying. If it's regarding Paul Pogba asking for £500,000, I won't be the one crying if you offer him that. I can assure you,
that's money going out of our club.
Will not. I won't be crying. You lot will be crying. especially when Pogba straight after that decides, "Fuck this, I'm not working hard."
No, he said he wants the best of all
Tyler
time.
says,
But in the
Tyler
whole-
says, "Niall, for fuck's sake, lol." That must have been about the 12-incher, and Dylan's laughing as well. The last bit that we're going to talk about is Ollie's comments on the Watford game. Fred is better than McTominay. Hope this helps. Both are shit. Hope this helps. Oh, I thought you meant Ronaldo. No, bum Jogba. Yes, no. Ronaldo, Ronaldo, I can understand why he gets £500,000. It's Ronaldo. Do I think it was money well spent? Probably not. But he is Ronaldo, so he's entitled to ask for that. Shh. He was he's allowed to ask for that. Paul Pogba is not allowed to ask for £500,000. That is £1 million going into Paul Pogba's bank account every other week. Just bear that bit in mind. 2 million a month. 2 million a month.
Not bad if you can get it.
Not bad if you can get it at all. But this
thing
is
is,
Paul
like,
Pogba.
Yeah. A person who does not deserve it, like.
Yeah.
I
think
probably
even
deserve it more than him, to be fair. I've been through
just
more
gonna
trauma
say-
than him, and I deserve more money.
I think De Gea deserves £500,000 a week more than
Oh,
Pogba.
100%.
Like,
I'd
yeah.
even upgrade his contract, I would say.
Yeah,
Give him,
Mustafa's
at
right
least four.
here.
But how much is he on
Trash,
that?
trash versus garbage when it comes to Fred and McTominay. Jogba doesn't deserve these wages. Martial does. I will agree. Martial does deserve £500,000 above Paul Pogba. I'll agree with that. But I want to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's made some interesting comments, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer normally does before a game. Mustafa says Greenwood should be £1 million a week. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Solskjaer on Manchester United's future. When you lose a game, you are always disappointed and under pressure. We've been communicating openly and honestly. Well, I don't know if he's been doing that via Skype, but I'm pretty sure he went to Norway on holiday for the international break. And Martial was in Dubai and Jesse Lingard was fucking somewhere. It was abroad, mind you. He also said, we've corrected a few things, put some things right, and I'm sure we'll see a reaction and a good performance tomorrow. Now, let's break this down a little bit. Yes, you should be disappointed, and not just with losing. The way you lost was pathetic. Pathetic. Manchester City toyed with you for 90 minutes. They used you as a training drill. That is embarrassing, especially at Old Trafford. The communicating on it openly and honestly, I thought you'd already done that. I thought I heard after a Liverpool game, you had a open and honest talk, and came out. The Bailly wasn't happy not playing. Donny, unsurprisingly, wasn't happy not playing. Players were confused about the tactics and why you're going to press fucking Van Dijk and why Bruno Fernandes is chasing Alisson like a lost dog who hasn't got a fucking clue what he's doing on the football pitch, because why the fuck would you press the most press-resistant defence in world football? God only knows. Again, this is about being smart and, chucking yourselves into against Liverpool, probably a low block, not even a medium block, a low block. They have Salah. That must have escaped your mind. He also got a hat-trick. But the bit I want to point out, the bit I want to talk about is we've corrected a few things, put some things right. I'm sure we'll see, and this is the real bit I want to talk about. I'm sure we'll see a reaction and a good performance tomorrow. It's against fucking Watford. Does beating Watford justify whatever the fuck has happened against Man City and Liverpool? Ciaran, you start.
I mean, to answer that question, obviously, definitely not. But I think in terms of what Solskjaer said, I think obviously at this point, it's all PR really. I think in some ways I can see that as Man United manager, he's never going to come out and say anything against anything against the team or anything against his own tactics. Really, he's taken a little bit of responsibility, obviously, but. he's not the sort of guy that's going to start, kind of throwing the toys out of the pram. But at the same time, I think from a Man United fan's point of view, you do want to see a little bit more, I guess, open honesty, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously, we can see with our own eyes what's going wrong. I feel like sometimes in press conferences and things like that, some of the answers Ole gives is almost as if he feels like the fans aren't watching the game and he can kind of say something and we'll just go, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, no, that's the reason we're lost, no, that's the excuse. And it's like, well, United fans really, yeah, exactly, I've just seen that. But yeah, no, exactly, it is PR, it's all PR. And I think unfortunately for Solskjaer, there is TV cameras at these games and we can see what is going on the pitch. And I think it's hard to get away from the cold hard facts that he's been given a lot of the players that he wanted. He's had a lot of money spent on him. I think he's been the most backed United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson, and the results just aren't coming. And I think that is the cold hard fact of the matter. So obviously he's going to say what he needs to say to kind of try and justify what's happening. He obviously doesn't want to lose his job, but at some points, from a United fan's point of view, you do just want a bit of frank honesty about the situation, really. But obviously Ole's going to say what he's going to say. And as you said, they're supposed to have had this conversation after the Liverpool game, and we obviously got the Atalanta draw, and I think people, didn't really convince them, even though Ronaldo scored 2 goals, and there was supposed to be a sort of feel-good factor about kind of drawing against Atalanta or whatever, and then we got brought crashing back down to earth against Man City. I feel like United fans can't be tricked anymore. We know the story now, and I feel like that's why it's getting a bit more difficult for Solskjaer. He's kind of running out of excuses. But yeah, it really is all PR at this point.
I mean, if he does lose his job, public relations, I'm sure anyone would hire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for that. Fuck it, United probably have a job for you, Ole. Be the PR spin at United, because he's bloody good at it. I'll give him that. He is bloody good at spinning a bit of public relations. Oh, guys, there's a fire. Fuck, I know how I'll do this. Fred and McTominay offer me work rate. There you go, boys. Have that. It's like, Ollie, you are not helping your situation, mate. It's like, I would love to sit down with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and be like, Ollie, mate, but by saying you like Fred and McTominay, that doesn't help. That makes it harder, because then they really do think you're an idiot. Right now, they only sort of subtly think you're an idiot for continuing to pick them. By actually saying that shit out loud, you just anger them. They're just angry now. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Fred is a great player, no sarcasm.
You Sam Martial.
He can fix our long midfield issues. I don't think so. He's tried that for 3 years now. RJ, do you want Ollie to leave? Yeah, RJ, do you want Ollie to leave?
No comment. This stream will be way too long if I answer. Join me on my own channel where I will chat about that. There you go.
Chelsea United.
Robotic channel.
Should be interesting.
Exactly.
Fred is terrible.
I deserve the plug.
Double park the bus, exhilarating action. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Double park the bus against Liverpool. Public relations. The PR spin at this club is beyond a joke. It's certainly an interesting one. If we can sell Fred, that would be great. McTominay can just sit on the bench. Kenny, shut the fuck up. You rep Jogba. No comment. Disgusting.
I read Greenwood now. I didn't actually like Pogba when I read it, but I just couldn't go to it.
Alright.
Kenny, any comments on what Ollie said?
I can just imagine World War III, Ollie's a leader, and then he just starts to Fred out by front line. I think I want for nowhere near the level of Man City and bloody Liverpool. Nowhere near. I mean, the 17th, mate. I mean, I know it is still a massive game. They still probably will beat us. We're still on our level, but I still think it's not a game to judge Ole off. If he wins this game, it's like Spurs. We should not be judging off this. Oh, we beat Watford, but what shit? We're going to lose 4-0 to Chelsea. We're going to lose to Arsenal. But because he beat Watford, he's going to keep his job. And it's why Ole's kept his job for so long. He always Yeah, I mean, and there were people saying, there were ladies saying as an excuse, this is the only first real blip. But there's been so many blips. There's been, for example, even last season, the 6-1 Spurs. We lost bloody 3-0 to another team. We got on awful form and then got one win. And then we kept him. We were on the verge of sacking. It's going to happen again. Because all he needs is one win a month. And he's kept his job. It's stupid. And it's because of the Glazers. I mean, we could beat Norwich in a month and then lose all the rest of the games, and I guarantee you we keep the job. Because I think, oh, but you won this game, so we can maybe...
Well, I think they are slowly changing their mind on that. But RJ, finish us off. What's your thoughts on Ollie's comments before the Watford game?
I mean, I'll be straight up. The only way I could see improvement in the squad is if we beat this Watford side 7-0. I think some of the things he does say is a bit horseshit, to be fair, where he's saying, "Oh, everything's grand. Don't worry, lads. It's it'll be okay." I mean, what I think we should all do, lads. This is genuine. We can all do this, right? Everyone, including Niall, Ciaran, Kenny. If you have your bloody camera on, all you need to do. This is it's called a Maguire spin-off, all right? So what you need to do is get your camera, do a knee slide, and put your fingers in your ears and pretend no one's going to say anything bad about you. It's 100% foolproof, I'm telling you. It's 100% going to work. Pretty much. Fingers crossed we absolutely destroy Watford. I don't see it happening because the Cyclone GK will probably fucking do well tomorrow. And that's just how we'll end it.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
Kenny, we can't see you, mate. No, sorry that you literally live like as the Hobbit, but like
Sure,
I'm one that doesn't spam hashtag Ollie out. However, Ollie out. Mustafa says I've called out Ollie since 2019 October. We're in November 2021. When will people wake up? Guys, question: will Arsenal beat Liverpool with all of Liverpool's injuries? No. I see it as a real possibility.
Wait, how many injuries do they have?
They got a few. It's a must-win game for United because Chelsea is going to smoke you 1-0. Yeah, Chelsea's going to smoke them 1-0. It'll be an interesting game, that one. I couldn't miss this show. Absolutely, Wolf. But make sure you watch on catch up. I say catch up. I mean, after a stream, because we are going to wrap it up there. I'm afraid. 1 hour 22 minutes. Spoke about a lot. We got through a lot. We got through. The attack line, the goalkeeper, the right back, the Instagram, the Jesse Lingard, the CDM, and Ollie. So we've actually covered a variety of things. 6 topics, hour and 22 minutes. Shit, I am late. 1 hour 22 minutes late. Liverpool have 8 injuries. I think Liverpool could. I think Liverpool could have to play with fucking Jurgen Klopp up front. I still see them beating Arsenal. Hey, Zach, Canada beat Mexico. That is true. But before you do go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I did a preview of Charlton versus Argyle, so make sure you check that out as well if you have not done so already. You can find our socials: Twitter, Let's Talk EPL, Instagram, Let's Talk EPL_, and on TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. Ciaran, where can they find you, mate?
You can find me on Red Deal Weekly on YouTube and also on Twitter, as it's spelt there, one word, capital letters, whatever. But yeah, cheers for having me. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Cheers for coming on. What about you, Kenny?
Yeah, you can find me at KennyV210 on Twitter, because we're going to have to request the account. Kenny TV on YouTube and Kevin on Twitch. Also, big up to the person above me and to the left, top of me. But not the person left of me.
Wait, what?
Is that because RJ called you a potato?
Maybe. I mean, you should rename his channel to Robotic Tanilla or Aaron Jaguar. They're literally identical.
Been packing. Obviously going away for a little bit. Good job for the milk bags, Wolf. Thanks, assault weapon and no healthcare, lad. Well, Wolf's in Canada and Zach's in America, so that makes more sense now. Love the nickname. Thanks, assault weapon and no healthcare. And Mustafa says, "Now change your title." Why am I changing my title? Ollie, it's time to bench Ronaldo. Oh yeah. Good stream, lads.
Change that, mate. Change that.
No
Change that
chance.
now.
But RJ, where can they find you, mate? And thank you, Tyler.
Well, first off, I just want to apologise to the audience for the people who did lose fucking brain cells listening to Kenny. But obviously, you can find me pretty much on every social media. You can find me on all social medias. Wild Jaguar, as it is. Came back today, finished exam, so yeah, pretty much doing well. And yeah, thanks so much for having me once again.
I'd love to see a boxing fight between Kenny and RJ. It would make my day.
Mate, he's literally 5'4". Like, what do you mean?
That's what I want to see. I think he'll be. I think he'll be remotely funny.
I'll train really hard and I'll beat you.
What do you mean train really hard? You're gonna train like veggie and fucking eat like KFC or whatever. Seriously, you look like the size of him, mate.
We'll make it. Let's hope Premier League will be bigger then. So we'll make it a big event next year. Boxing event, me and you. I'll train.
I don't want to go to jail for decapitation.
Ciaran,
right?
do you want to do commentary for that for that one?
Hey, listen, we might have to now. We might have to put the event.
I feel like that could be quite amusing for commentary. I'll see if Don's around.
You're gonna see a destruction like in your very eyes.
You're gonna see me out matter, aren't you?
Hey, you can't even speak English. How are you
You know
gonna
what? The best bit will be the press conference just before the fight. The trash talk with these two. It's gonna be hilarious.
That would be quality too. I'd watch that. I'd pay to watch that.
You don't need to pay, mate. Get it free. Anyway,
We'll get that sorted. Big up RJ for fuck's sake. Make it happen now. Replace Kenny with Tyler. Tyler is a better United fan, even when he's a Liverpool
100%. I'd even argue that Kieran's Wall's a better United fan at this rate.
I'd argue Aaron is a better United fan than you are, dude.
What?
I'd argue Aaron Chandler is a better United fan than you, mate. I'm trust me that he's not confident.
You can barely support Doncaster, let alone another club.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, she just said like a rival player. Like, what the? Come on.
No, he said Aaron. You know Aaron? Donny
Doncaster. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Kenny's saying that, but anyway.
Neither do I. But on that note, guys, this will carry on backstage, I'm guessing. But I'll catch you in a bit, guys. Bye-bye.